Clash Royale.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Nexon Arena for more SSL Group D. We did just have Patience advancing out of the first match here into the winner's match over Cure in a 2-1 victory.
Yeah, a very crazy series.
Yeah, a bit sloppy,
yeah,
a bit all over the place, you know.
You could really, I guess, overall say, at least in my opinion, if you want to like just take a step back, almost feels like Patience won the series 3-0 because the second game should have been his win. But I mean, that's just not how StarCraft works. He didn't actually close it out, so he didn't get the win. But really weird series. Definitely a fun series overall. But we're going to go into our first Terran versus Terran of the night here with Reality and TY. Now, I expect this one to be a lot more one-sided. Let's see if Reality came hardcore prepared for this one, because he is a great Terran player. He's known for his patient mech play. But we'll see if he can actually defeat TY, because TY is, one of the best Terrans in the world and was able to defeat Cure and go to the GSL finals last season. He is a TVT specialist.
Yeah, Reality is good at TVT as well. Definitely a great TVT, TVZ player, especially back in the day with this Mac. It was quite nice. But definitely the underdog still, going up against TY, as TY's TVT, as you said, is very strong. Is he going to try to play it straight up against TY, or is he going to try to mix in some funky builds? Maybe some Cloak Banshee play, that would be nice to see. Here's TY.
He has a medevac icon this time, kind of strange considering he's more known for his siege tank play, which is, he normally has a siege tank under the sun because his name, Taeyong, refers to that. But if you look at his results, 3 runner-ups, Shoutcraft, GSL Codes, the Kung Fu Cup. He was 1 game short of making the Star League Finals last year as well. Was unable to do so. The GSL Finals was his first Star League Finals ever, including Brood War. So this is, again, a great player, but someone who has not achieved yet in individual leagues what I think maybe he deserves. We'll see if he can do it this time. I think he's one of the big favorites to make top 8, obviously, in this group, but beyond that, I think he could make it to the semis again.
Well, it's going to be rough to see, whoever gets out of this group, the first place player plays up against Zest, and the second place player plays up against Dark. So whoever is getting out of this group is going to have a hard time in the round of 8. Just lay it down the line. Even TY, if he goes against either of these players, maybe if he goes up against Dark, that would be better for him. He should probably even try to get second place in this group. I'm just going to say that right there. Guys, we're going to jump into Reality versus TY on Dusk Towers. Welcome to Dusk Towers for, surprisingly, the first time tonight. And down here in the bottom left, in the red, the Terran player from Samsung Galaxy Con, it is Reality.
And his opponent to the top right, in blue, it is TY.
It's not Tai or
Not
Tai.
thank you.
No.
I know a lot of people think that's what that means, but it's not.
And yeah, I mean, that's kind of interesting for the players coming into this group to think about. On the other side, basically in the round of 8, they have 2 very strong opponents. It's very hot in Korea right now.
He's like TY. He's the son, of course, and he said, can you do a 2-hour game here? Because he said it's cool inside. It is very hot. In fact, I'm going to look up how hot it is right now specifically.
Well, it was 35 degrees Celsius today.
Yeah, I know that's the forecast for tomorrow as well.
And the next day, I checked it.
35 right now in Sachogoo. Wow.
Hey, man, that's nothing compared to China. Well, China was another experience, so,
this is actually the hottest summer I think I've ever experienced in Korea.
Yeah, definitely one of the hottest. I can't really remember. It definitely wasn't this hot last year, that's for sure. But
last year was nice.
Yeah. Last year, I think it got to like 30, maybe. Like 30, 31 tops. Now it's like 35. Shanghai was real feel 52. And like that just, you shouldn't be outside if that's the case. You know, for you American viewers out there, I actually checked. It's 126 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe.
That is crazy.
So, yeah, the humans just don't belong in that kind of heat and humidity.
I saw you in the Roddy Snapchat.
Yeah. You guys can look at my Twitter for that. That was, we were outside waiting actually to get inside, and my whole shirt was drenched in sweat, and I have my jeans wrapped around my head to avoid heat stroke. I was just trying to survive, guys. Like, that was my main priority. Just trying to live over there in that heat.
Yeah, it got pretty nasty from what I can tell. But in this game, we saw an SCV push with the Reaper from TY. Reality denied it with one well-placed mine. And now, TY was trying to intercept this, but misses it. And there's going to be Hellions out the gate here for Reality. And this is not out of the ordinary for him. That is kind of his playstyle. Probably see him mech on this map. And
Ooh,
he will
Reaper
try to
getting
scout.
in.
Sees the Widow Mine. That's pretty big because he knows
Yeah.
no pressure's coming his way anytime soon.
He also saw both the factory and the starport. You can kind of assume, but he saw it with his own eyes. So definitely knows exactly what the build is right now from TY.
It's kind of weird that TY made a Widow Mine also. Not entirely sure what his plan is going to be with that. Like if he drops it out with his Marines, it's just not that strong in this matchup. It can force a scan, but might even be better to have it home for a drop later. Let's see what he gets done with this.
There's even a Raven coming out right now, so...
And a second factory. We're going to see fast Blue Flame Hellions, it looks like.
Yeah,
Unless...
potentially mech here after all.
Yeah, he could even swap that reactor he's building on his barracks right now and go for Hellion production. Scouted. So important to deny this, but he didn't, and he pays for it.
He had one Hellion there on the left side to spot for medevacs, but also for stuff like that. Here we go, the drop coming in. SCV going to trigger the Widow Mine. Very nicely done.
One SCV kill is all that gets. Always pretty skeptical of Widow Mine drops in this matchup, but it was well played by Reality to avoid that damage. It is going to be...
the big switcheroony.
I'm like, where does everything end up here? It is
Yeah.
going to be Blue Flame. The Infernal Pre-Igniter. That Infernal Pre-Igniter.
So infernal, man. And this is, you know, we've been seeing some mech, especially over in Korea, more often here in this matchup of TVT.
He's actually just making a tank instead, so never mind.
It could get a little bit later. You know, maybe it lines up in the build a little bit later. He
Yeah, I mean, I was wondering because I'm like, if he's going to do this fast Blue Flame, what's he going to get from it? But I want to see the add-ons again because now he's not actually making...
He's not making Hellions anymore, but okay, there he goes. Just trying to mix it into his build. Just making one for now. Probably going to start another one in a bit. And if he continuously makes Hellions, I think Blue Flame is going to be just good in general.
He definitely
against
will
all the bio as well as for drops. Hellbat drop's pretty nice.
Stem on the way for TY is going to take the more traditional approach. Marine tank. And let's see how Reality decides to do this. Obviously, without Marines, it's a lot tougher to pressure and attack. You basically probably won't be able to. TY was scared of that possible Blue Flame double Hellion push like I was talking about, so he makes a bunker on top of the ramp with his siege tanks. He's scared about a push like that.
Look at that scan. He sees the double barracks and the third CC and the timing of when it's lifting. That just gained him a lot of information there in the main.
That one Hellion is going crazy. He's just patrolling on it. You gave me a weird look.
I didn't see him. I'm like, where is he at? I don't know.
So Hellion needed to join the rest. I think he was scared someone's going to scout what he's doing, but one of the reasons why mech is good on this map is that the fourth base is pretty easy to take with siege tanks, especially if you have air control, which Reality is pumping out reactored Vikings, whereas TY wants to keep up with Vikings and actually just starts reactored Vikings, but he's even adding a second starport because he knows that air control is going to be behind in with the build that Reality chose. So you can actually go triple Viking production if you'd like to. 2 more factories coming up for Reality. There's a scan on the third base, doesn't reveal anything. Even hides a Hellion. He's like, I don't even want you to see these 2 Hellions. Gonna fight here with BDD.
Marines, nice positioning there. Right and ready to go. Maybe he saw the flying units of Reality coming in, because he was very ready to take a fight like that with the Marines on the ground. Not much that Reality can do, just has to back off.
Oh, even some Marines trying to chase up here. Those are probably the same Marines that saw this coming. I think they dropped out of a dropship earlier. Well, Stim done in 3. And that means that, I mean, that's obviously a huge power spike for TY. He can fight with his bio a lot. Well, you just fight with it, period, now. He's not going to at this moment in time. I'm going to go ahead and grab those combat shields. Plating almost done here for the mech upgrades. And it's going to be a slow and steady ramp up here.
Yeah, very slow. TY first to take his 4th base. It makes sense. He hasn't really been putting on too much pressure, though. And Reality has just been very content to sit back on 3 bases. He took those 2 gases as soon as he got that 3rd base as well. Went up to 5 and 6 gases in total. Now he's going to begin his Hellion play. Runs directly into the army of TY. Immediately has to drive back.
He does not have his armory done yet. Oh, wait, no, he already has one, of course. I was like looking at him like, he can't make Hellbats. I was like, no, actually he can. He wouldn't have wanted to in that case, but he definitely will be doing that soon, so he can drop on top of this army.
This army, after all, is not that big. Also, I think Reality knows that. He's like, wait, that's your army?
Yeah, he didn't make any medevacs, so his Viking count is out of bounds, man. I'm like, how many Vikings does
out of bounds.
How does he even have? Like that's not illegal. That's like way over the legal limit for Vikings on the Dusk Towers county. Like,
we need to give him a ticket for that. Where are the Dusk Tower police?
Like, I'm calling the police right now. I'm calling the sheriff.
A Thor added
into
the mix.
We've heard reports there are 15 Vikings on the map. Is this true?
Bumping into each other.
He's like, spread out your Viking flower and show me. There's also that full energy Raven. Well, I mean, nearly full energy. That can really help turn the tide. The air control is absolutely in Reality's hands. Let's see if he can use it without getting flanked. There's not enough bio yet. It's like getting to almost the amount that he needs to try to fight this head on. But even with these tanks in tank mode, it's kind of risky with the Hellions here that'll become Hellbats to stem onto this.
Reality taking it very slow. He doesn't want to move across the map just yet. Looks like wanted to move out of the scan as well. There was a bunch of Hellions on the right side of the map that did just get blown up. Thor's being added into the mix is just going to make that air army even that much stronger. There's, you know, thick, meaty units in the back that can do some nice DPS.
Okay, here comes a big drop. Sensor tower not in place to see this. If he flies over the CC down there, though, that would be so huge. Or actually, that might even be the barracks from earlier.
Yeah.
It's not a CC, but he doesn't see it. It avoids all detection until now. He's got Liberators at the front. Those are not going to be very helpful if the Vikings get on top of them. The drop, though, splits off into the main base. And TY starts to take a big lead here. This is an insane amount of damage he's doing to all these production facilities. This shouldn't be happening. In reality, he needs to fight, but he's actually going to try to kill the Vikings. But he's baiting him. He's chasing him away. That bio is doing so much damage, and he baits him into this bio down here as well. Several Vikings dying.
And the army in the main, it looks like eventually it will be cleaned up, but 16 SCVs. He's going to drop down into the third base. Finally, some tanks coming back. Not sure where the Hellions are here for the defense.
No, Reality lost a ton of SCVs, 20 in total, and lost a lot of add-ons, so his production is severely affected.
That Horseshoe Man, even worse when you're playing Backing Terran.
Oh, look at this. Down go a few more of these tanks. That's what he needed, because the one scary thing was Reality's counterattack, because he has massive air control. He needs to pick off tanks as much as he can. There are 8 left. This is not even security. He basically has like no mining right now. Reality's 3 bases are denied. He only has the one really actually mining.
Yeah, he's got a bigger army, and head-to-head, if they did take the fight, he would win.
But that's why TY's never going to fight that. And he's like, oh, you decided to move across? That's why I have another Doom Drop prepared for this.
And reality is not even moving across the map fast. It doesn't help him that it's Dusk Towers, but the fact that he's taking it super slow, gonna, la-di-da up in here, 2 tank seeds, and now we back off. We're not sure, just a little bit of pressure. Same time, TY's getting into position, gonna drop into the main again. Reality is way out of position.
This one turret is like the only defense here. Now he's on top of the production once more. Gonna eliminate the turrets first, interesting choice. These Vikings are pretty annoying to deal with. A few tanks come back. This will be cleaned up eventually, but not before this damage is done. In fact, he may grab a starport and a CC. +2 just finished for this bio. He's gonna grab a starport, a CC, and a tech lab. Can he survive the push? I don't think he's gonna try to fight it again. He's just gonna send another drop over. This base is taking some damage, but this will finally be cleaned up by a little drop over here.
There's like one Hellion, or rather Hellbat waiting nearby, like, no, don't kill my tank. But he goes down too. And reality, once again, he's not swinging the hammer, sticking in the middle of the map. Not confident to move in here, and TY, he's catching up. He's killed so much of the economy of reality, now down 25 SCVs. That reality is kind of in an awkward spot here. Looks, he's not even making any extra SCVs. He's like, no, I can just rely on my mules, and I just want to max out on mech. And I think that's why he's not attacking here.
Definitely a possibility. It's going to take him some time to get to that max, but he is approaching it. TY has this group of medevacs down here. I'm going to go ahead and boost in. This is the moment where if he can bait reality out of his base, he can finally finish off a lot of the tech that was damaged. And more than tech, really just the production, the main base. Scanning. Is he going to come for a flank and try to sandwich this? It's a risky choice.
I think he's just going to go for the main again.
Vikings spot this, though, and he has cold feet, backs off.
Yeah, that time, reality was like, no, not a third time. Get those Vikings in position. He had medevacs there, too, to drop some Hellbats, delay it so he could get back and defend. And TY not going to go too far this time.
+3 plating on the way for reality. He goes for the plating for his Vikings so that he wins the air control. And I guess tanks don't need that much attack to deal with the bio. The bio's already kind of low health anyways. You can blow it up very quickly with enough siege tanks. It's an interesting choice.
Gonna drop some SCVs now at that gold base. Gonna get to mining here. He actually brought exactly 10, 12. Nice little position now to get up here, and he still has those medevacs if he wants to go for a drop. There still is some of that bio left over. And at the same time, reality is gonna be able to defend against this.
Okay, this is a ton of medevacs. Reality's going across the other side. So much here that he's dropping in. It's like almost his entire army. There's only a few units at home, as you guys can see.
Yeah, look at that. He's got 3 Marauders and 3 Marines.
So if this becomes a base trade, the Viking count is really important because killing those flying buildings is going to be of the utmost importance. And that's what reality has the advantage in right now. So the production is killed for reality first, but I think TY needs to come home, and he is. He catches these tanks unsieged.
That's a big hit there to reality's army here. He's going to even get on top of that Thor, just sniping unit after unit with just a small group of bio.
+3 is done for this bio, and it's doing wonders here. Going to try to grab another siege tank. Nearly does. Not able to. By the way, the armor applies twice to Marauders in their current state, the siege tank armor, so it's going to help them survive a little bit longer. And this camping here of the buildings is important. Does he have enough to get his tanks alive? He's repairing this one. Going to repair maybe some of his Vikings. TY is going to try to just outmaneuver him and rebuild barracks and rebuild units.
I mean, even look at the 2 bases that he's got. He's got the gold at the top, that regular one down at the bottom right. Still is, mining a bit there from his 4th.
Vikings need to land here, but they're not good fighting units. They only have +3 armor. They have no attack upgrades whatsoever, nor do the siege tanks, and this should just be game. TY is going to take game number 1 and a longer first starting one here. Scan goes down to the GG scan. That should be the type out here.
Yeah. GG, there you go. TY taking game number 1. A bit of a drawn-out one there on Dusk Towers, but Reality just had no answer for those drops.
So, not a bad start for Reality, but you could see kind of ideological differences between how these two players want to play the map and what style they want to use, what composition, and why Reality did what he did there. Makes sense. It looked like a solid build. But he needed more turrets earlier, or he needed to have his Vikings spotting this.
Even a sensor tower in his main, too. He had one at his natural, I think?
Like in between his natural and his... it was like in between his natural and his fourth. It wasn't even on the edge of his fourth.
It wasn't in position to see any drops, so that was the most important part. Maybe at the top side of the map, but...
When you have 15 Vikings and your opponent has 3, I don't think you need to have all your Vikings